Welcome, everyone. If you're seeing this live, welcome to the very first stream from our YouTube channel. This is wild.
Yeah.
This is absolutely momentous for us. This is fantastic in every way. As you can see, we have some things to update you on. So as you come in, as you come in, we've got some things we want to tell you about. If you're seeing this on YouTube, thank you so much for checking us out. I have a busted finger. That's new.
Completely your own fault.
Yeah, it's 100% my fault. It really is. So a couple things to catch you up on. Number one, as you saw in the last episode, and those of you who are seeing this on the stream haven't seen this yet. This is coming out in a couple weeks. We're kind of ahead. But we are Anderson's disappeared. I'm the only one left. That's it. I'm here. I'm the gaming bunch now. Basically to catch you up. Basically to catch you up on everything. What's going on now is the episode you'll be seeing coming out soon is for Christmas. It will be coming out the week of Christmas. And we're just going to go and drop some news on you now if you're seeing this on the live stream with what we have going on right now. And that is that the Juice Man has officially taken the Juice Man has officially taken a leave of absence from the show. It's honestly for the betterment of him and his mental health. He's got a lot going on right now, and we love him. We love the dude to death. We wish him nothing but the best, and we want to see him succeed in everything he does. It's just a matter of he needs to take some time to help him get where he wants to be. And so with that, as you all know, it's the gaming bunch. It's not the gaming duo. It's not the Joe bunch. It's not the Anderson bunch.
Although it should be.
Put your hand over your camera again.
All right, bye.
But we want to go ahead and introduce our newest member to the bunch. Now you ignore my messy room behind me. But
damn, ever heard of spring
Anderson
cleaning?
And I, that's called laundry. That's what that is. So Anderson and I, we talked about it. We wanted to figure out what we could do to continue this in a much more smooth format and a much more, how would you word it, Anderson?
I'd say more streamlined and more like compact.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah. More future proofed. That's a word.
That's not a word, but okay.
So really the way we want to do it was without Juice, it didn't feel right using the studio because we have our own seats, we have our own sections and such. And you'll notice that on the screen right now there's a third person who's missing, and that's because we've selected someone, we've talked to him, and we brought it up to him, hey, we would love you to join us, and he was ecstatic. He was excited to do it. He jumped in without missing a beat. We kept the train moving. So without further ado, you have met this man before many times, but he is indeed the newest member of the gaming bunch with the two fingers hiding in the corner there. Everybody welcome Sam Burford.
Hello. I'm back for good. Hello.
Yeah, so
I'm here now.
Mr. Sam, as he adjusts his camera there.
Yeah, sorry. Autofocus.
But
it's
Mr.
fun.
Sam, basically.
Yeah.
But a good old Sam wanted to join us, and we couldn't be more happy. But with that, there's a couple things. So what you're seeing right now, you see three of us. You see Anderson, or wherever I'm at on the screen. I don't know where I'm at on the screen. I see my screen. But you have Anderson, you have Sam, and myself. We all live roughly far away from one another. Anderson lives 30 minutes away. Sam lives 24 hours away. So
just a little far.
From now on, what you're going to start seeing is you're going to start seeing us through this format here. It's all virtual. We're going to be doing calls like this from now on. We're going to be doing gaming on stream. And that's also something as well. Sam, I'll let you introduce this as a new member to the show. What are we going to start doing on the weekends now for all the lovely viewers?
So, lovely viewers, we are now going to start streaming our podcast and gaming challenges, and it's going to be super fun, super exciting. It's going to be a little new, so we might have a few little bumps along the road. but if you bear with us, I think so far we've already got a pretty good little setup going on, and it's only going to get better from here. So stay tuned.
Facts. Big facts.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Now, Anderson, with that being said, would you like to introduce them to the newest portion of our show that'll be coming out, debuting roughly, I believe, mid-January, maybe late January, early February?
All right, so listen here, all you shit fucks out there. Our newest segment now.
Be nice to our people. What the hell, Anderson?
Fuck the people. I don't give a shit.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Anyway,
sorry, Daddy.
our newest segment, because we know all y'all want some more gameplay and stuff like that, we are going to now start doing playthroughs. And we will start releasing those during the middle of the week, and we'll start having those out for you. And it'll be playthroughs from either me, Joe, or Sam, singularly, like just us doing them. And it'll be playthroughs of some of our favorite games, some of the new games that come out, and some of the other games that we like to play, maybe some retro ones, who knows. It also depends on the equipment we can buy to actually record off of those devices. So hey, look forward to that, but also fuck you for actually making us do this.
Somebody is.
Sam's not well accustomed to how Anderson is. I'm fully prepared for this.
Yeah.
Sam is not.
I'm new.
But yes. So we basically
Chaotic evil
we
over
will
here.
we will definitely be doing playthroughs from now on. Starting in mid-January, early February, we're gonna have playthroughs of awesome games. So in our stream, by all means, and drop it in the chat. If you see this on a YouTube video, which of course these are going to be debuting just the same every Tuesday for podcasts, as you can see on our scroller, and every Friday for the challenges. If you have any ideas for playthroughs you want to see, like games that maybe someone just hasn't done and you really want to see a playthrough of it just to see if you might enjoy it, or even still with podcast topics that you want to hear us talk about, and also challenges you'd love to see us do, whether it be some sort of time trial like we did with Dark Souls, or maybe like, I don't know, some sort of punishment to whoever can't win it among us. We don't know, but it's something you can come up with that we can actually put into, like, bring into fruition and do it for you here on the stream. We'd love to do that. So let us know either in the chat or in the comments. You can even message us on Instagram if you want to as well, and we will definitely be more than willing to try it out if it's possible. Some of them, some of them definitely aren't possible.
Yeah, if you shit fucks toast to jump into a like a volcano, we're not going to obviously do that. So keep it reasonable.
No, I would just find like the workaround. Like I would make like one of those baking soda volcanoes and then jump on it. Because there's always a loophole. There's always a loophole for the most part.
I'd be the idiot to make. I would make a baking soda volcano and then walk to an actual volcano, just throw it in there.
That's fair.
But if you throw a volcano in the volcano,
you get a mega volcano.
Volcanoception.
Oh,
you get Yellowstone.
So yes, so that's what's going to be happening. By all means, please let us know. And again, if you're seeing this in the stream, welcome. This is very new to us. This is huge. This is something we came up with this week. We literally all last night, even we were sitting here, all of us in our Discord, all in a call, I like getting every single bit and piece worked out to making sure this could work as seamlessly as possible today. And then of course there's gonna be some bugs. For myself, I'm working with a DSLR and I did not know how to get that set up, so I literally didn't jump into this call until about 2 minutes before we started.
He's not wrong.
And so it's things like that we're working out the kinks. We're going to slowly get all that figured out, but as we do, it's going to make it that much more fun, that much more involved, and we're going to be able to evolve as a show for you all to continue enjoying. So we're the new weekend warriors. We're going to be doing this each weekend, and of course
hopefully I don't have to treat your wounds every weekend.
Yeah, I slammed my finger in a car door today. And that was 6 hours ago, and it's still bleeding.
Yeah.
So,
any doctors in the chat? What's going on?
I might, if I just keel over, just ignore me.
Although as a side note, I want to say
anyway.
shout out to the chat because we got a few people already in it. So what is going on, you lovely people, especially that second
what
one.
What up?
But also, fuck you.
Can we get some straight W's in the chat just for our first stream? Can we get some fill up the chat with W's, please? That's what I'd love to see.
All the W's.
So, without
George
further ado,
W's.
because I know,
Of course, someone already came back. Let's see the volcano jump. God.
Shout out to Biggie B
you
for
had
that.
to say something.
I said something because it's going to come up regardless, and it still came up.
Yo, Biggie B, shout out to that boy. He can spit some bars. I know he can. He's gonna be shameful, but yeah, you know what? Spit some bars. Put some bars in the chat. But let's get to the topic. So, of course, if you're seeing this on YouTube, this is all raw. This is all fresh, all brand new. And this is the format you're gonna start seeing. So, hope you enjoy it. But we are still going to get to our topic because Sunday nights is all about the podcast and we love discussing fun stuff. However, if you remember when we first started this podcast a year ago, when we had our New Year's Eve episode roll around, technically this episode here that you're seeing on stream will be airing on New Year's. Reason being is because we're adjusting a few things. We're going to be trying to get some figure some things out with scheduling. We wanted to test this early to make sure it would work and not do a last minute ordeal. But technically this is our New Year's Eve episode. So we are going to do our year in review. And that is our year in review and all things gaming, which will be a total blast. I know a lot has happened this year, especially with the Rona.
Boy.
Especially with the Rona. But I want to go first, before we really dive into a lot of the topics that we're going to talk about as far as the year in review. I just want to ask you both. Sam, since you're new, we'll start with you.
Okay.
What is one thing that stood out the most to you this year in 2020 in gaming?
In gaming,
Yes.
I mean, it's got to be the hype of the new games, mostly kind of like the smaller, kind of more arcadey games. I mean, we're talking Fall Guys. Fall Guys had a meteoric rise there at the beginning, and now we've got Among Us with like this almost like Phoenix from the Ashes resurrection, thanks to some streamers to, send it from 14 players worldwide to literally millions now, something crazy like that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Last time I checked
number
it, it
is,
was
but-
at 400,000.
I mean,
they
whatever.
did
That's
just win
close
the-
enough to 1 million. I'm going to call it 1 million. Good for you, Among Us, and hopefully you guys keep up the content. But no, that's got to be like Among Us, especially. But yeah, that I think is got to be the kind of highlighting, crowning achievement of this year.
So I just want to bring this up. You know what's amazing about how we're doing our new show?
What?
We can check this stuff on the fly right now.
Oh yeah, true. We are connected to the internet, which has everything. The entire world is at our fingertips right now.
I'm currently pulling this up. So on Steam, as it stands,
Did they already put the awards up for it?
show more details.
But although Steam also wouldn't include your mobile numbers either, right?
No, this is strictly Steam.
Yeah,
strictly
so-
Steam.
Because I mean, mobile's going to probably at least double that.
Oh, of course, because they just got voted in the VGA's most most prominent mobile game.
Yep.
Well, I think they won 2 awards if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, they won like 3, I think.
I didn't watch them, so
Yeah.
that's up to you guys.
I only watched it because Sean was on there.
So currently, from what I'm seeing,
Man, so glad we have access to the internet. It's so fast, and this information is just right there. It's ripe for the taking.
Yeah.
it's just showing me all of my stuff.
Yes.
I've got a
that's how
lot of
Steam
hours
works.
in this game.
Go to the store page.
I've got
Go to the store page, sir.
I'm on the store page. Don't
No,
worry.
not your library page, your store page.
He was on his library page.
You want to play a Zoom game?
I'm on the store page.
game.
Fuck y'all both. I don't need Zoom to get my point across. I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I just do spear.
That's fair.
Bye, Anderson.
So
Hey.
Anderson, while I'm looking this up, what was something that stood out to you this year?
You know what? Not really much stood out to me in gaming that much. I will say the most, I guess the most defining thing for me was seeing how like the VGAs and like the, what was it, E3 and all that stuff moved to online during all this year's crisis, and how everything's been moving to more, even more than before, a virtual kind of kind of setting. So like E3 and all that stuff, no more like getting passes and stuff like that and going backstage and all that stuff. There is no stage, so it's strictly online. So that was interesting to see how everyone adapted when it came to that.
Yeah, for sure. No, I completely agree. And that's actually something I was gonna say as well. Was it is nice that's really what stood out the most to me. Was it is nice to see that even in a situation where the entire world shuts down, gaming continued. It continued to grow. It continued to operate in such a form that it didn't stop.
Yeah, essential workers for the win. Yay.
I mean, yeah, but it really did. It allowed a lot of people to have the opportunity to start streaming, if they wanted to. It allowed it, we talked about this in a previous episode where you go try to find something that for streaming. Like, for instance, we were looking for the Cam Link for the longest kind of time. The Elgato Cam Link, if you aren't familiar with what that is, just a simple USB stick, plugs HDMI in the back of it for you to run a DSLR. We tried to find that for the longest kind of time, and even though we found it, it was scalped and priced 4 times higher than it normally goes for.
Just so like the GeForce 3090.
Just like all the GeForce stuff, honestly. Like
basically, yeah.
Yeah, like it's insane how much of a price increase those have with the scalpers.
Yeah. Now, but one thing I would say is, like, even though that happened, that didn't happen until I would say about midway through quarantine, because at the beginning of quarantine, people actually started taking on projects that they wanted to do and they wanted to tackle. And
yeah, fucking Lowe's and Home Depot was packed.
Yo, no lie though. Like, so when we were working on our studio, bro, like it was unreal. We'd go in there and people would just like, excuse me.
It was horrible.
Okay. Like, and you just see people like loading up on whatever they could find just to go do stuff at home. And but the same thing, like on the opposite side of that, is streamers. Streamers did the exact same thing. You had a lot of folks who really like it. I think a lot of folks got into the streaming game during quarantine, not realizing the grind that they were going to have to go through.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of people quit out of it real quick.
Yeah, like you saw an immense amount of people just drop like flies. And the thing though is, like, but they still tried. They still took that opportunity to go and try that, to see if that was something they really wanted to do.
And some of them had great success with it.
Yeah, some of them stuck around, and some of them are actually being successful with it. They're growing their channels, and they're steadily seeing more and more activity, which is great. That's fantastic. But but that's one thing that really stuck out to me, was the fact that people took that opportunity to actually engage in something of that nature and continue to, persevere. So, now going with that, I do want to ask this. So way earlier this year, nothing really took place in gaming. Like, it was a lot more hype. It was like, you didn't really see many big games drop. You didn't see many titles being thrown out. It was just more of a waiting game of like, we just heard a lot from E3 2019, and we still have to wait till the end of 2020 to get it. So
yeah, because everything got put on hold and everything like that. But then you also got to look at that. Not much happened with game, like getting out there or game production or anything. But we did have, for gaming culture as a whole, we did have a lot of technological advances.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we just got a new generation. We got the next generation series of the NVIDIA cards, and we've had significant leaps in storage quantities and storage capacity, and also the price reduction of those. So we've made some good technological advances since everybody's been holed up. Everybody's just been figuring out how to better what they already have.
Plus, too, I mean, then you didn't have like the production companies, retailers, stuff like that. They all shut down. So then, releasing a game wasn't exactly something that could be done at the beginning of the quarantine. I mean, I guess it could, but a lot of them were staying home and kind of being kind of pushed back a little bit. I mean, we saw a lot of games get kind of pushed back a little bit until just very recently. So
yeah, but because of that, I would also say that because they've been staying home and working on it at home, they've had more time to refine the games and to like detail them out. So I'm expecting in 2021 or even going into 2022 that the games will have much better quality because they've had that much more time to work on it and refine it.
Yeah. And that's something too that that I was gonna say along with that is, even when quarantine hit, everything shut down. But the thing is, the gaming developers didn't necessarily stop. They just slowed down briefly to adjust, because the thing is, like, a lot of your devs don't work from home. Like they may take their work home with them, but they're just like salary workers. They are not working from home. Nope. And the thing was, they had to adjust to that. They had to figure out, like, okay, how can we effectively do this to make this work across, the ether, if you will? Like, how do we bridge the gap when we're not able to sit right next to each other?
Definitely a process to switch from working in office and traveling and stuff like that to just being strictly at home. Correct. Because when you work in the office and everything like that, you are pretty much like, that's where you work. And then when you come home, there may be a little work you have to do at home or something like that. But home is usually where you like, all right, I'm done. I'm relaxing. I'm chilling out. I'm getting some sleep before I go back to go to work. And then this year had to teach us, there's not much of a defined line anymore.
Correct. And so, that was one thing that was really nice to see, that devs didn't stop. Mm-hmm. Like, even though the world stopped, they didn't want to, because they realized, like, gamers are going to be at home where they have everything they need for gaming. They're not just going to be, sitting at home twiddling their thumbs. They're going to want to do something. And that's where, like, you saw, and we just said this, we saw the resurgence of Among Us. Among Us, and I brought this up in the episode with Mr. Cruz back in Spooktober. Among Us, when it popped off, the first time I heard it was when Courage JD was streaming it. And I was like, what is this game? And then you just see it take off.
Yep.
And as it did, like, those devs were ready to just scrap it and start a new one. And what did they do? In the middle of quarantine, they went, wait a second, we're going to put our new project on pause. We're going to go ahead and make this new game. I'm going to make this current game even better. Now we're going to start updating it. Now we're going to start actually getting it going. And I remember Courage saying that there was like 14 players worldwide. And
which is insane to think about. Like, that's just over a lobby. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Like, imagine if you're trying to get into a lobby with 14 players.
Imagine you're trying to figure out the imposter and someone's speaking Russian while another's speaking Mandarin or something. Fuck that. No, thank you.
Whole lot of different languages in that chat there.
Man, someone's speaking like, oh wait, I was about to say European, but that's not a language.
But you're gonna have Google Translate up on your second monitor, like, put it in, quick.
Stupid Brits with their tea.
Now, of course, during quarantine, we got some very rough news. And Anderson, you brought this up: E3 being canceled.
Yeah.
I don't know about you two, but I look forward to E3 every year, because E3 to me is just, it's a gamer's paradise. It's like, you get to, if you can't go, you still get to experience in some way, shape, or form what's happening. You get to hear what the devs are doing. You get to hear about the new titles that you may be waiting for. Like, you're experiencing so many things. We heard about the new consoles this year. And so with that, to get to the point, with E3, just because they didn't do it live, like they didn't do it where you could go be there at the con, you still got to experience it. They adapted and overcame to make sure that gamers got what they were looking for. That they were able to still experience E3 to the fullest. Like, Anderson, I know you and I were watching the Xbox portion of that.
Oh yeah.
Like, we were in completely different areas, but we were watching it, just message each other like, oh my God. Like, and it's just, we
literally did that with the VGAs the other night too.
Yep. Yes, we did. And that's the thing is like, because of the fact that that is an option, like that they were able to adapt and overcome and move it into a live streaming format where people could still see and embrace that feeling of E3. It's so nice to know that that thought was still there, because they could have easily just said, all right, to hell with it.
Yeah, they could have.
That's it. Like, and it's done. And they didn't. They very much so took the opportunity to say, okay, this is what we need to do. Like, we need to still be able to get this information out to gamers. And, you know, they did. And I would certainly go as far as saying they did it flawlessly.
Yeah, my only concern going forward is that they get entirely rid of the physical portion of E3. I hope that comes back, but of course, everything has to go right, and the world has to get back in order. Which, I mean, the FDA approved the vaccine that they were trying to ship out, even though it probably didn't go through nearly as much testing. So whatever.
That's a whole different kind of gaming there. It's a game of chess.
That's a game of human lives.
That's what was the
Plague Inc.
Yeah, Plague Inc. That's what I'm trying to think of. Thank you.
Next challenge. Who
Next
can
challenge.
conquer Iceland?
Plague Inc. But IRL.
I cough on a bitch.
Oh my goodness. But you know, so as the thing with quarantine though, was, and I think we can all agree to this, the thing with quarantine was, even though there was a sense of hopelessness, like at one point, you know, in the beginning of quarantine, we're all like, okay, yeah, 2 weeks and we're good. 2 weeks, we're all right. 2 weeks goes by. All right, a month. I'll give it a month. Do you have 4 weeks total? Give it 2 more weeks. We're good. And then it kept going. And as it kept going, I can speak for myself here, but there was almost like a sense of hopelessness of like, are we ever really getting out of this?
I was about to say, I think you can speak for yourself, but my quarantine and like the whole experience was vastly different.
Yeah, mine too. Mine, I basically didn't have one. So like, for me, it was just like,
the thing was
it's
like
business as usual for the most
Yeah,
part.
that was basically me, because I still had to go in and work because essential working and everything.
Yeah.
But even worse, I was locked away in a room doing research and stuff like that. Then I came out and I was just like, oh, the world changed.
The world ended.
Basically. And I was just like, okay, I still got to go travel and stuff like that. Then they finally cracked down and I was sitting home and I was like, oh, now I'm working from home. Okay.
Yeah. But and that's the thing, like even for myself, you know, it was still business as usual. But the thing was, like, there were so many mandates where you couldn't do half the stuff that you did. Like, I remember at one point in time, we were wondering if we could even start recording, like if we could even record from this shop anymore. You know,
It was even
studio.
worse because we were trying to record and then a whole SWAT team came out.
Yeah. So actually, let's go into that real quick. Yeah. So we'll fill you in on that real quick, and all you lovely listeners over there in the stream. So in the chat, buckle up. So if you go back and watch this is what hell feels like episode where we did the hot wings challenge. Thanks Zoom.
Thanks, Zoom.
Yep. That popped up in the stream too. So you know, we have unlimited minutes now.
Hey,
Yeah.
we broke out here, boyo.
Yeah.
But so in that episode, I tried to cut it as well as possible, but at a certain point, you see Alan get up, and Alan goes to puke because he realizes, like, one, he can't deal with hot stuff. He just cannot deal with hot stuff to save his
Boy
life.
can't even deal with ketchup.
Dude, I don't even think he could deal with mayonnaise. Like,
Goddamn.
just being honest. So
It was bad.
like, it was bad. So we love you, Alan. If you're watching, I don't know if you're in the stream, but if you watch this later, we love you. But Alan gets up to go puke. And we're sitting there and we're chit-chatting for a second. And I remember I did cut that part out. But at one point, we hear what sounds like a tank rolling down my street. Now, put this in perspective. And I've made this mention plenty of times before. I live in the middle of nowhere.
So there shouldn't be a tank going down the street.
No, I live in the literal middle of nowhere. I live in the country. And we hear this and we all look at each other like, did y'all hear that? Like, and we get up in the middle of the episode.
God.
We're already like an hour deep into recording this. We haven't even finished the challenge yet. And I think Anderson, you were burning up too, because you had just eaten some hot stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
because I got burned that whole episode.
True. But we all get up and Alan pokes his head in the door and goes, a SWAT team just went down the street. And we all go, what?
And of course, I'm out here like, I need to start running because I don't know about y'all, but I'm at a distinct disadvantage.
Don't finish that.
It's
I
even
know what
worse
you want to
because-
say.
Continue the story,
was
Joe.
about-
Continue the story. Continue the story.
It was straight up
So-
a month before everything popped off too. That was even worse.
Yeah. So, but like, again, I want to emphasize on the fact I live in the literal middle of nowhere. Like I can walk outside and I can hear a cow mooing like over across the tree line that's probably 3 football fields away. Like I'm in the cut and we hear this. So we all run outside and these cops, it was 7 cop cars in a SWAT style like setup, and they blocked in this house that's 2 houses down from mine.
There was also an
All
actual
because-
SWAT vehicle.
Oh yeah, true. All because, are you ready for this? Chat, buckle up. All because there was a 5-year-old's birthday party happening at that house, and they had more than 10 people. They had 12 people at that house.
Wow.
And one of the neighbors called it in.
One of the neighbors called it in. They were handing out tickets like it was candy, bro.
It was
Damn.
horrible, and it was a 5-year-old's birthday.
Think
I
about
felt
that.
so
Think about
bad
that.
for her.
You're 5 years old and you are having to now like embrace the fact that there's cops handing tickets to your mom and dad because mom and dad wanted to throw your birthday party, being cool parents. And now they got to pay a fine.
That poor 5-year-old. All she can go is down from here after the cops bust her party.
I just got to say, we got some love in the chat right now. Mercy saying that he would have called the cops too. And then Biggie B saying Joe's the one that called.
Mercy, you can go get fucked. I don't give a shit.
Jesus. We love you, Mercy.
No, we don't. Fuck you.
We do 2 out of 3. He was like,
but-
nah, it's a self-report.
You sus bitch.
Dad's in the bedroom going, yo, I got like a bunch of kids here. Can you shut this down? I'm missing the game right now. I'm
missing the game. The
I'll
kid
pay
stole
the
my
fine.
whiskey.
I'll pay the fine. Just come on. The Eagles are on. I need to watch this right now. Like,
Get my
This
in-laws
dumbass
out the
girl
house,
can't
please, for
even
the love
hit
of God.
piata. He's just like, yo, this dumbass girl I have, she can't even hit the piata. Just come and arrest her ass. I'm done with her. I'm done.
oh my God. So to go, but to go along with that, like I said, like at one point we didn't even know if we were going to be able to continue the show. Like, cause you know, one small victory for me this year is I've in the middle of nowhere somehow found stable internet.
Somehow.
So knock on wood. Yeah. W keys in the chat, boys. But it was, you know, the fact that we didn't have this option here where we're doing what we're doing right now. Like we didn't have this. So we had the studio and that was it. And you know, when you see something like that, our first instinct was slowly back in the door. They didn't see us. Like, no one saw anything. Just get back in the shop. And Anderson first, get back in the shop. Like,
I was first. I went back in real quick.
You were, but it was like, you see that kind of stuff, especially during quarantine, and you start hearing all the different mandates coming through and all this stuff happening. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Like there was this moment where you're going like I could speak speaking on the show. I love doing this. Anderson and Sam both can attest to this because I've talked to you both about this. Like this show, I love every bit about it, all the way from pre-production to post-production, recording, playing games, everything in between. To me, it's not just about the games. It's about the fact that like the creativity that we can all utilize and bring about in this show. I love it. And when that is on the chopping block because of a pandemic, it's like, oh shit, this is real. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, something I love could come to a halt very fast. And I don't know how y'all feel about that, because I know, Sam, you're 24 hours away. So what did Texas look like at that time?
Oh God.
Well, so in its credit, so the remaining, like the majority of Texas was all 100% business as usual. I'm just outside of the Austin area. So like, with their, they kind of, Austin especially, like almost completely shut down. And then up where I live, in the next county over, it was like kind of halfway shut down. Like, bars and restaurants were like takeout only or delivery.
Okay.
And then it was like super limited capacity. Like at the job I work at, we were only letting like very few people in. And so, yeah, I mean, like at first, it was, stay the hell home. But for me as an employee, I still had to go and like kind of do the same thing every day. So, I mean, stuff didn't really change too much for me. Especially since I stay home when I'm not at work. Like I'm right here in this chair looking at these screens, playing different things.
Yeah.
So,
and Anderson, I know, like you said, you were an essential worker at that time, so it was business as usual for you.
But also, I loved that. I hate to say I loved it, but it was an interesting thing because the roads were barren. There was no one out. Even
True.
the cops were like, "Yeah, we're not going out." So I could, not saying anything, but I could go 100 down the highway and get to my job and be fine.
hypothetically, of course. Yeah.
Hypothetically, of course. That's all
We do not
hypothetical.
condone breaking the law. We don't condone that at all.
Nah, fuck you. I condone it. This is the undisclaimer song. Fuck you. Do what you want.
The Gaming Bunch would like to state that the views stated by Anderson are not necessarily the same opinion of the Gaming Bunch.
And that's a beautiful podcast. It's all opinions, baby.
Yeah.
See, this is why Joe doesn't let me touch the socials.
Yeah, have you ever seen anything on the social media sites? Ain't him. Ain't
Nope.
him. We did it once. He and I were on the way back from Charlotte.
Oh God.
And I'm driving and I was like, oh, I gotta make a post. Like, and I was like, yo, can you message Juice to see if he could do it? And Juice was busy. So I just look at Anderson. I'm like, you want to do it? Like, and then I saw what he posted. I'm like, never again.
He just posted something like,
no.
I'm a 24-hour shitter or something like that.
It was
literally
something
was.
Like, it was something close to it.
It was the meme of fusing a hostage where I'm just like destroying someone. It says any normal conversation, Anderson being a shitter.
Yep.
I think
Basically.
I remember that one actually.
See, it worked. Fuck you.
I mean, hey, I didn't say it didn't. I'm just saying, like,
Never again.
never again. Like, but and so moving past quarantine, a lot of us have gotten back to some semblance of normal life. A lot of us, like we said earlier, have gotten to this point of having, new things that we're doing, like for instance, streaming. And a lot of folks have gotten a chance to really embrace that and utilize that. Now, something that I enjoyed as we got out of quarantine was the fact that you noticed with devs and gaming specifically is that that's when things started to ramp back up. Now, granted, we did get some delays, and I mean, like Cyberpunk, for instance, as we're saying this now, like Cyberpunk just came out a couple days ago, and that got delayed over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, that's a
But-
whole nother discussion on Cyberpunk.
It is, and we'll definitely get to that. We'll get to that in a future episode, because I definitely want all three of us to have a chance to play it, so we can actually dive into good discussion with it.
I just
But
started playing
the
it
thing
today.
is-
So.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on playing it this week. So like, But the thing is, with that in particular and other games, like for instance, Sam, I know you're definitely excited for it, and I know Anderson is as well. But Halo got delayed. Halo was supposed to come out this year.
I want it so bad.
Yeah, like we've been ready for Halo for so long, but look what happened. It's now coming out at the end of next year.
Well, also part of that was that abysmal rendering job on that Brute. I don't know if you guys saw, and that just got memed to eternity. And so then, 343 is like, yeah, sorry about that. We're gonna push it back here for a little bit. So
they completely fucked up their showcase on the Xbox and Twitch.
Well, so I actually, so I'm gonna disagree with you there. I think the showcase was fantastic, but if I'm not mistaken, they actually came out and said that they didn't play that in engine.
Which is a horrible thing to do.
No, and so you're right, and I agree. Like, I think the showcase was fine, but in terms of how it was perceived by the general public, and then like the memes that came out of it, that's part of what caused that delay.
Oh,
yeah, they got memed to absolute hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. But from the perspective of the actual showcase itself, it gave us a taste of what we wanted. We've been waiting for Halo for so long that finally we got a chance to go like, oh my God, we have it. It's here now. And we all picked up on it. If you're a gamer who enjoys, a high res beauty in all form of fashion with gaming, you saw it immediately. Like, I remember Anderson and I, like all of us in the chat that we were talking in was like,
what the fuck?
Like, we all kind of went, hang on a second. Like, this is the game we're waiting for, but
I hope this isn't the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
We're all like, I hope this isn't what we actually have to look forward to, because if so, I'm just going to stick with Halo 3.
Exactly. And so that's where I feel like, I think the showcase was fantastic for that. I think that 343 definitely brought to the table what we've been waiting for. What they did was smart. Because in my opinion, reason being is because they said no one believed that was in production. I don't care if you even say you did. No one in their right mind believed that game was in production, because number one, there has been nothing, and I mean nothing, released on that game all year.
They were absolutely strictly silent.
Yeah. And so the fact that they were that silent, and then they came out and showed some semblance of gameplay, was a great way for them to say, guess what? We've been working on this the whole time. Now, this may not be the game that you're going to get, because we still have work to do, but there's a game in development. And that's exactly what needed to be done, especially at the time that they did that. The fact that they were able to bring that to light and say, okay, hey, look, the world's going nuts right now. We know y'all need some kind of shining light here. Let's give it to you. And that's what they did.
I'm just going to have to agree to disagree on that one, because I was also pissed at the fact when they did the showcase, he had a fucking grappling hook.
I'm honestly, kind of pro grappling hook. I mean, like,
I am strictly against it.
Yeah, like I was upset with so way back, when what was it, Halo Reach, when they started doing sprinting. Like, at first I was a little upset with that, but then like looking at it, like, you can't have 9 installments or however many of a game to like with the same exact mobility features and like, just stuck at one static speed the whole time. And so having some mobility increase, like, especially in a larger open like world kind of vibe that Infinite's looking to be, I think a grappling hook fits perfectly. But again, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I kind of when Reach came out with the armor enhancements and everything, I was a little miffed, but I was for it because like I actually read the books and stuff. So there is mention of them sprinting and stuff. So adding that component in there is fine. Problem I had with the Infinite one was there's no mention of a grappling hook anywhere, and then it just pops up, and it kind of just seems like cheapening the Spartan 2.
Mercy said that he's going to buy you a grappling hook, Anderson.
Mercy can go fuck himself. I will shove that grappling hook up his ass. I don't care.
Good Lord. So the thing I would say is this: is while I agree that there was no mention of a grappling hook anywhere, I don't think it's going to take away from the gameplay. I think what it's going to do, I genuinely believe it's going to enhance the gameplay even more, because it's something, it's something new that you didn't have before, because we don't know where
I
Master
don't want
Chief
new
is
with
in
my
the story.
Master Chief. I want Master Chief to be Master Chief. I don't
But that's
need a
what I'm saying.
grappling hook to be Master Chief.
But that's what I'm saying. This could very well be like, I'm marooned on a some planet that I have no weapons and no idea of what's going on. I need to put something together.
He's done that 3 times before. He's fine without a grappling hook. Fuck off.
He's not wrong. like technically, if we want to get down into it, he's not wrong.
You got me beat there. You got me beat there.
But anyway, we'll just agree to disagree on that, because we could go to a whole nother episode on just this alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The further we get along with hearing about what's coming out for Halo, we'll definitely do an episode about that in the future as well. You can guarantee it, because that is a game that we are all excited for.
And
Now,
have very strong opinions on.
yeah. And then also there was a bunch of games that were discussed that aren't like that just won't be released this year. Like I know Grounded came out this year, and that one is kind of terrifying actually after I played it. Like I was just like,
Yeah, no, I don't like Grounded that much. I hate the fact that a spider is looming over me. No thanks.
well, as someone who is terrified of spiders, same. But you know, you see games like, for instance, Fable. You know,
Oh, God,
Fable
yes.
was announced, and I'm excited for Fable.
I'm so excited.
Ooh,
for
it
Fable.
just-
Like, yeah. Like,
Yeah, like you know, I'm definitely excited for that. But there's games like that. The Medium is one that I definitely know I'm going to play. We discussed it before.
Yes, with the Silent Hill producers.
oh, that one. Yeah.
Like I know without a doubt that I'm going to play that. But the thing is, like, those games aren't coming out. But what it was it gave us a showcase of things to look forward to. Like, it's basically saying, like, hey, look, the world is a very dark place right now, and we know that. We're not stupid to it. We're not dumb to what's going on. We know that without a shadow of a doubt, the world is terrifying right now with what's going on. But we want to give you a light. We want to give y'all something to look forward to. And this is the games that we're bringing to you. And that is fantastic.
And I
in
will
every form and
say,
fashion.
with that, the VGAs that me and you watched the couple nights previous, they actually stepped it up with that, and they gave us a little bit more light. I mean, you can see with like their little teaser of the ME Mass Effect. That was a light that a lot of people needed after Andromeda.
Yes. Very much so. Now,
Oh, and Dragon Age.
yes. Now, moving forward into the year, I may be getting my timeline mixed up a little bit, but if I'm not mistaken, it was right after that Fall Guys dropped, and right after E3,
Yes, it
and
was.
we all remember the fiasco of Fall Guys.
Oh God.
And it's still going. It's still strong. Still going strong to this day. I just played the other night, actually, with Spartan Boomer, who is somebody who's played in episodes with us before. He and I just partnered up and decided to run some duos in there, and the new maps look insane.
Yeah, aren't they the
it's-
Christmas maps now?
No, that's getting ready to drop.
Oh, okay.
So
Must be
season 3 is
season
getting
3.
ready to drop. Season 2 is what's out right now, and it's pretty intense. But Fall Guys, of course, the big thing we all remember with that, the man himself, Tim the Tap Man, and
Oh, yeah.
his epic adventure in getting to his crown, his very first crown. I don't know about y'all, but I watched every single one of those streams just waiting to see, because I wanted to be part of that. And when I saw it, I was just like, I was here.
Never
Like,
watched Tim the Tap Man, so I can't help you.
I was keeping a close eye on it on Twitter. That's about as far as I got. Like, I did hop into a stream once. I was on my lunch break though, so I only had a little bit to watch it. But of course, he didn't get the crown then.
Fair. But seeing how intense that game was, and then Among Us came, resurged right after that.
Oh, God.
Something I don't think we realized this year was, for the last couple years, gaming's been dominated by one specific game type, and that's battle royale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're to a point where, it's not a necessity. It's
Which I'm
not a
so
necessity.
glad
to
we
have
came back
battle
to that.
royale anymore.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
starting to just get beaten into
Because
the ground.
I
at
don't
this
play
point.
Warzone.
Either do I.
Correct.
Nope,
I
I
don't
don't.
play Warzone. I don't like Warzone. I'm not big on it. I've never been really big on Warzone. I played Apex. I played PUBG. I played what other battle royale did I play? Whatever else is out there. But when you look at it from that perspective, like it's nice to see other style games actually getting some credibility now for having massive populations in their servers to go play something other than an FPS, it just all out battle royale, anywhere from 60 to 200 people. Like, it's nice to partner up in a 10-person lobby and just play some Among Us and just rage at your friends. Like, it's nice to go and just play Fall Guys where I can just be a jelly bean and run through these maps and just rage at the game because, I might have missed the crown or whatever. Like, it's nice to have a different experience than the same thing over and over and over again. And 2020 brought that to us. Yeah. 2020, without a doubt, as much of a crappy year as it's been great for being able to have that new quality, content at your doorstep. It's nice to be able to sit down and play something other than, Warzone. Yeah. Like, that's really why I've stepped away from watching a few of the streamers that I used to watch, because all they do is play Warzone, and I just don't want to watch Warzone over and over and over again. Like, I'll watch Courage JD all day long because he has some of the most hilarious lobbies playing Among Us. And a lot of people may not understand what that feels like, but when you sit down and watch a stream for 3 or 4 hours where it's the same game, yes, but you're getting a new experience every time.
Yeah.
Like, yep. It's not the same people who's imposter. It's not the same people who's crewmate. It's not like you can make new challenges in it. Like of course, hide and seek, which Sam loves hide and seek. Like, you see stuff like that where it's, yeah, you see stuff like that where it's giving you that new perspective, that new feel of a game. And I like, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Not only is it just like fresh content, it's accessible content. It's not a game that has, like both Fall Guys and Among Us is somebody that is brand new to video games. You can hand them the controller or the phone or whatever, and they can figure it out relatively easily. And so it's not only, just these super complex and like, you really need to be decently good at it in order to enjoy it. Like kind of games like Battle Royales, like, anybody can pick it up and enjoy it. And I think that's really what spoke to what made them so successful this year.
I agree.
Yep.
Anderson?
And with Among Us and stuff like that, I like the game and everything like that, but I particularly liked what came after Among Us, and that was the spike in the horror games, the team-based horror games that came out, like In Silence, Phasmophobia,
yeah, stuff like that.
And what was it? Silence Among Us. I forget what the other one is. It's just like In Silence, but it's like you're not the monster, but you have to be silent through the whole game. I forget what that one's called. But like we just had a surge of those come out, and that was right before October, and it was great.
Yeah, yeah, and the fact that we're able to do that now is fantastic. Apparently, my internet connection is unstable. But tell me something I don't know. But the fact that we're able to do that now and play those, like you said, easily accessible games, the fact that we're able to do that in so many different forms and fashions, like, and that actually brings about a quick topic that I wanted to bring about with the newer games is Among Us is doing something that honestly, with their resurgence, they're really leading the charge on this, in my opinion, and that's mobile gaming. Anderson, I know you and Juice disagreed with me on this, but I made a statement saying we need to watch mobile gaming because it could pop off. Like, a lot of people don't go buy phones to think about gaming, but then you do have these newer phones where
like, are you talking about buying phones strictly for the purpose of gaming?
No. I'm saying, like, people don't go buy phones for the purpose of gaming. Some people do. Some people do go buy them for the purpose of being able to have that ability. But Among Us, in my opinion, is now leading the charge in saying, like, look, you don't have to play this on your PC. You don't have to play this on a larger platform. You can play this directly from your phone and experience it the exact same way you would experience it on your computer.
And it's free.
And I feel like you're going to see a lot, for free. And I feel like you're going to see that a lot more as we go into 2021. You're going to see that a lot more with these other games that aren't just FPS based games, that the accessibility of getting it on your phone and playing it on the go is going to rise.
Yeah. On that note, Biggie B just pointed out in the chat, he said, and Microsoft adding Game Pass support to mobile is really nice.
That as well.
Yep.
So I Anderson, you look like you have your thinker face on. I'm genuinely curious as to what you're processing there.
Nah, I'm just gonna keep silent on this one. I don't feel like getting into a debate on it.
That's the purpose of a podcast. Let's do it. Come on.
No, I'm good. We can move on.
Okay.
Well, but so to kind of come to conclusion here, I think the biggest thing that we've seen this year is that gaming didn't collapse in the time that it definitely could have.
No, it pretty much adapted and overcame. That's basically what this represents. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say not only just thrived, it grew. Like it, thriving for sure, but it grew exponentially. Like people no longer, I would say there's people out there who still do, but a large majority of people don't see that stigma anymore of, oh, it's just a video game. Like they realize like, oh, I can go stream. Oh, I can go play other games now. Like I've got time to do that. Like, okay, cool. And I feel like that gave a good up for the gaming culture, because what you're seeing is people more open to the idea of what gaming can provide. And I don't know what y'all think on that, but like, I genuinely feel as though that's something we're going to see continue to rise in 2021.
Yep. I agree with that, but I think the stigma is still there, but I feel like it's becoming more of a like moot point at this point. But I would also caution everybody with it, because when a platform or something like this starts to go off in this way, there usually becomes some overlap with different subjects and genres and stuff like that could be potentially dangerous. So that's the only concern I have for gaming going forward with that.
For sure. Sam?
Yeah, I mean, with anything, there's, any kind of meteoric rise on anything, there's going to be, some really good parts and some really bad parts. I mean, you just got to try to, kind of wade through it and, hope that it's not going to totally topple the whole thing.
Yeah. For sure. Let us know what you think. Again, if you're seeing this in the stream, put it in the chat real quick before we roll out. Let us know what you think. Sam can read it off and we can discuss it real quick. And also, if you're seeing this on the YouTube video, of course, put it in the comments down below and we'll talk about it in a future episode.
Also, shout out to Mercy, because he just said, I almost lost faith after Anthem last year. And I feel that, because I was with me and my friend bought that for $60. Pretty much ran through that game, got to the highest level, and were let down. So I feel you, Mercy.
Yeah, for sure. Any other comments in the chat?
Yeah, we got a few. Definitely, Biggie B and Mercy has been contributing quite a bit, with Biggie talking about mobile Game Pass. Mercy going back to the mobile stuff. Phone companies are starting to make their phones capable of running mobile games, and they'll leave an announcement in some of their ads sometimes, so it's definitely going in that direction. Biggie B to kind of expand on that said, if I have a quick break at work, I can pop on Minecraft Dungeons or really anything on there and then drop out. And then Kay Hudnall said, definitely agree. I think gaming has been on the rise with more people at home. And so, yeah, definitely some good interaction there in the chat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And so, as we said, we already gave our conclusions. Make sure to check this out in the future. We'll be dropping this. And again, the streaming that you're seeing here is going to be happening every weekend. We may take a couple weekends off just to get this all solidified, but this was a great foundation for us to continue. This was an absolute fantastic foundation. This gave us, I mean, tell me what y'all think. Was this up to expectation for us? Like, did this work out well?
I mean,
it better have you shit.
I think so. Yeah.
but no, definitely am excited. With all three of us here to. Where did Anderson go? He blew a cloud and disappeared.
Yep.
But it's nice to be able to do this, and so. We may take a couple weekends off just to solidify a few things and make sure we have everything peaked and tuned, ready to rock and roll. But this first time through, we had minimal casualties, which is nice. And it gives us an idea of what we need to prepare for in the future as we roll into 2021. Again, if you're seeing this, of course, you're able to watch us on the YouTube video. Everything we do in the stream will be right here. And then our challenges will be a little different because you're still going to get the three-way perspective so long as we can do that on certain games. But as we go into our future of streaming every weekend, every Saturday and every Sunday, barring any scheduling conflicts, of course, because we do have lives that we do need to attend to.
Yay.
Once we get to the holiday season, once we get through the holiday season, we'll be able to continue doing this every weekend, every Saturday night and every Sunday night. We'll, of course, have a schedule out for you to be able to see, not only on our YouTube channel, but on our Instagram as well. So if you haven't yet, go follow our Instagram and stay up to date on all things TGB. And again, if we can get some claps, get some like W's in the chat for Sam. Welcome, Sam. Welcome aboard to the Gaming Bunch as your first episode. This is fantastic. I know you've been on episodes before, but this is just fantastic that you're now a member of the group and
get to experience my shitter ass in more ways than one.
Oh, I've experienced your shitter ass before.
Yes,
true.
Talk
but
dirty to me.
I do believe I can speak on behalf of Anderson and I when I say it's nice that this has been such a seamless transition into getting you on board and us being able to do fun stuff like this. So as we go through into the future, check us out. Make sure to hop in here whenever we're on stream every Saturday and Sunday, and of course check out the YouTube videos as we drop them as well. But we will see y'all next time, and I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Peace.
Peace.
See ya.